Hey, everybody. It is good to see you. We just saw some of you guys. Let me get this lady in the picture here also.
I'm in a higher chair than Bigfoot tonight.
Yeah, she sat in the high chair. I'm in the low chair.
I'm tall.
And I got my Squatch Life hat on. What you got on? She's got her Squatch hat on too.
From Whitehall.
From Whitehall, yep. She got that at the Sasquatch Festival, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So
I got this at the Sasquatch Festival too.
Oh, see it.
It's Bigfoot Maple. They even have a website. Yeah, we got the maple syrup too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Should we go back and say hi to everybody?
I think we should.
All right. If you guys can see us and hear us, okay, throw us a 7x7 there in the chat. And TJ Squatchy is bouncing off the walls on sugar. Me and Norman on a quick beer run before the live begins. I forgot the cake. It's good to see you, TJ. Shift Kicker, good to see you. TJ Squatchy is pretty excited about today's live. I have had way too much sugar in anticipation. You can't even tell her anything. Shift Kicker, Norm, if you're watching, Shift Kicker says good to see you.
Hi, Norm.
Yeah, good to see you, Norm. TJ says that Norman would say hi back, but he has had way more beer and not enough sugar.
Is Karen?
Oh, yeah. Miss Karen V, how's it going? Just saw you again also. Let's see. What's Shift Kicker saying here? Upon walking in, walk over and step on the thumbs up. That's right. Appreciate that.
Give that a good squatch.
Yeah. TJ says, I feel like the woman in that old Mervin's Black Friday ad. Open, open, open. Anybody remember that? We got Harvest Mary Moon. Good to see you.
The awesome Susie D.
Susie D. Susie D, she's a Bigfooter.
Yes, she is.
Yep.
Actually, she sent Bigfoot many, many things for the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It.
Very cool stuff. And t-shirts.
Yeah. We even redecorated.
Yeah. TJ Squatchy, I'm excited enough for everyone. Whoop, whoop. Grace Johnson, good to see you again. And Stephanie, good to see you.
Karen.
Karen's back. Yep.
Stephanie.
Oh. Double feature. That's right. It's our friend Prepping 101. It's good to see you.
Hi, Prepping.
You want to say hi to Stephanie?
Hi, Steph.
Red Scout, good to see you.
Hey, Red. Red Scout.
Sissy May, good to see you.
Hey, Sissy.
TCP, how's it going? The Conservative Patriot. Lisa Anderson, good to see you.
Hi, Lisa.
We got some 7x7s coming in. We got Life with Bobby. Patricia Clark.
Hi, Patricia.
Tracy Williams, good to see you. ER, good to see you. Good evening.
Hi, ER.
Susie D says, hi, Norman.
Yeah.
She likes your hat.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right.
Hey, ma'am.
No Megalodon yet.
Although they did find out, though, that Megalodon, they found an 8,000-year-old
8,000-year-old tooth.
Which means that was after the dinosaurs. So.
You're giving him hope.
Oh, yeah. No, he's real.
Soggy's Adventure, good to see you.
Hey, Soggy.
There's Karen V.
Longboarding Mom. Hi.
Hey, it is Longboarding Mom.
Mr. Bear Truth. 01.
Susie D says, I never knew about Bigfoot Squatchy until this Bigfoot. Hey, I'm a Bigfooter. Mine or size 13. Does that count? You're in. You're in the club. Hey, Annie. Good to see you.
Hi, Annie. Giggles.
It's a very good fishing hat, ER says.
It is.
Hey, Giggles. Good to see you. Megalodon is what my grandson calls my truck. All right.
Our truck's Bigfoot.
Yeah, definitely Bigfoot. Yeah. So this is a pretty exciting night for us. I've been pumped about this for over a week now.
It's not a puppy.
Yeah.
I was a wee bit.
Yeah. So last Friday,
Yeah.
Last Friday, I called her. I called my wife from work. I said, I got a surprise I'm bringing home.
He's bringing home a surprise.
Yeah, so she's all pumped about this. I told her it's something literally amazing. She's like, is it a puppy? I was like, it is way better than a puppy. Much better.
What's better than a puppy?
Well, I'm going to show everybody what's better than a puppy here in a little bit. Can't just drop the surprise right off the bat. Right? Suburban Hillbilly, good to see you. So a little bit of backstory on this. Okay. We live in upstate New York in the Adirondacks. Mountains, forest, lakes, beautiful up here.
2,800 lakes to be exact.
Yes, 6 million acres of forest. Okay. I'm not originally from here. I am originally from.
But I am.
Yeah, she's native to here. I am originally from Ohio, and I'm actually from Southeast Ohio, Perry County, to be specific. I'll go that far.
Yeah, you will.
Maybe some of you guys know where Perry County is in Ohio. You want Suburban Hillbilly? You want to know about hillbillies? You come to Perry County in Ohio.
Yeah,
that's where us hillbillies.
We have some hickabillies up here in the Adirondacks too.
Perry County is a whole nother level of hillbilly. I'm just saying.
Hickabillies.
I'm just saying. But that's where I grew up. Yeah, exactly right. From Ohio, but loves Michigan. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes. That's where I grew up. I grew up in Perry County, Ohio, small town, Hicktown, USA. I spent many years living, basically in Wayne National Forest. It's a massive forest area in Southeast Ohio. It's huge. It covers a lot of space, and I lived right beside it for a lot of years. I did, and me personally, I have always. Are we frozen? Sissy May says we're frozen.
It looks good on my end. I've got it up on the phone and it's running. Sissy May, if you restart the stream, it should fix it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, that's where I am from, Southeast Ohio, Perry County. And yeah, Life with Bobby. Life with Bobby says Ohio has lots of Bigfoot sightings, if I remember correctly. And that's right. Ohio is one of the top 4 or 5 states for Bigfoot sightings. And no, Mayhem, I'm not muted. Now you're just messing with me. So Ohio has always been a hotspot for Bigfoot sightings. Even in the Perry County area, Muskingum County area, that Southeast Ohio area, Guernsey County. Now you're talking about up into, maybe you guys have heard of the Salt Fork State Park.
That's Salt.
Yeah,
Fork.
Salt, SALT Fork, Salt Fork State Park. You could probably go on YouTube and type in Salt Fork State Park Bigfoot, and you'll get all kind of stuff. This would have been much better. I brought home a baby Bigfoot.
Yeah, like Junior.
I'm not even that cool. I can't even pull that one off. But anyway, I grew up there in this sort of a Bigfoot mecca. And if there was a Bigfoot story to be read, I read it. If there was a Bigfoot movie to watch, I watched it. If there was a Bigfoot YouTube video, yep, I watched it. I studied them all.
You even knew about the story up here before you moved here.
That's right.
Little did you know.
That's right. And when that's not even funny 101. I take any sightings of Bigfoot there with a grain of salt. I think it's one of the rednecks down there.
I don't know. They are pretty hairy up here.
But even living back there in little forest out in the middle of sticks, nowhere, Perry County, I knew about the Bigfoot sightings from where I live now, here in upstate New York. I knew about one cluster of sightings very well, and those sightings were always on my mind. They always fascinated me, the stories of Whitehall, New York, and Abear Road. And I watched so many videos. There's the Beast of Whitehall. There's so many different videos about Bigfoot and Whitehall all over YouTube. You can watch them all over the place. I actually have a slideshow presentation.
Wait. But meanwhile, while Bigfoot was in Ohio dreaming about, the things that were happening over here and over there, you had this girl over here who was afraid to go outside when it was dark out, but she was really skeptical and was like, no, it ain't.
Yeah, she would laugh at me because I believed in Bigfoot. She doesn't. She didn't.
I had a lot of questions because of the bears. But then 2019 happened, and I started hearing stuff that I've never heard before, living here all my life.
Yeah, and we're going to get into that because I'm going to let you tell a story of what changed.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
It changed.
We'll get to that. Mm-hmm. So I have a slideshow to kind of go along with this. There you can see some castings of actual Bigfoot tracks. And when I look at this picture here, this Bigfoot area, stay on marked trails. This isn't a picture of Perry County.
Why are you marking the trails everywhere there?
You have to stay on the marked trails or you could get eaten.
That's why. I think the trails are marked the way a dog does. No? Okay.
No. But anyway, I look at this forest and in the path. It just reminds me of back there, back in Ohio, small town Perry County, and this forest that I basically grew up in and lived much of my adult life right around Wayne National Forest. And that whole area is just, you hear about these stories, and it's just something that's part of the culture back there. And here's a pretty cool picture that my wife actually put together.
I made that.
Yeah, she made that. Yeah. That's not a real life Bigfoot. But yeah, she did a good job. She's quite the...
I'm learning new stuff every day.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So...
There's that sign.
just ignore the ugly face on the left of the screen there.
Oh, you're
but
so cute.
If when I finally moved here from Ohio to upstate New York, this sign in the background, that Abear Road sign, I knew about Abear Road for 20 years before I ever got to go to Abear Road. Abear Road is a very magical place when it comes to Bigfoot sightings. 1976?
The year I was born.
Yeah, something about 1976.
Yeah.
Strange creatures popping up all over the place.
I should have seen that one coming.
Yeah. So 1976, there were many sightings on Abear Road in this area. And I've been there now many times. It's one of my favorite places to go. But let me click to the next slide here. Now this gentleman right here, not the tall one with the the goofy beard, the other guy on the left, not the other guy on the left. That gentleman's name is Brian Goslin, and he was actually one of the officers who had the sighting on Abear Road. He was face to face with Bigfoot.
Well, when he got the call, many people don't know, but it was his brother and a friend that called this in. Sorry.
So yeah, so what I had always read about and studied about and watched on videos in Ohio was this man's story. I watched Brian Goslin's story on Bear Road, and my wife actually set this trip up for me without me knowing for my birthday one year. So I got to go meet Brian, and right in the background behind us, that is the field on Bear Road where Brian had his sighting. And he took us out there and he described it in detail, everything. After we had lunch at the Big Apple Diner, which
I don't know who was more excited, Brian or Bigfoot, because they were both, I don't know, y'all were both really, really excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell the story of the diner and how that affected you?
So as we were waiting on our food, and everyone at the Big Apple Diner knows Brian very, very well. A lot of his things are sold at the store, even diner/store. Again, I was giggly. I was excited for my husband because he didn't know where we were going or why. Like, obviously he knew where we were going eventually, but he didn't know why. And I'm just not wanting to go into the diner yet, and I'm wanting to hang out in the parking lot because I'm waiting on somebody that he doesn't know about. And this forest ranger type truck pulls in, and it's got the whole Adirondack Sasquatch Society right on the truck.
Yeah, it's got Bigfoot all over this truck. I know something's up at this point.
And I don't know. Like, he was frozen, but yet he wanted to move, and he did move, and he was kind of jittery. And it was pretty funny.
It was starstruck.
Yeah. So, anyways, we go into the diner, and of course, first we need coffee. I know Brian really wanted coffee. I needed coffee.
Yeah.
And as we were eating lunch, I listened to Brian tell his story where our arms were almost touching, And I didn't so much watch his face anymore. I looked down and I happened to notice that I could feel it. But I watched the hair on Brian's arm. And I'm getting the feeling even now talking about it. I believe him 1,000% because I was born the year that he saw this. And if this could affect his arm hairs, okay? his innards.
All the hair on his arms were standing up as he was telling this story.
Yeah.
He had so much passion about this. Yeah. And, you get to a certain point in your life when you can just tell if somebody is telling you something that they believe to be true. And that hearing Brian tell his story about his encounter with Bigfoot, it changed my wife as far as how she felt about it. At least that was the start of it. And Brian talked about different sounds, and he showed us some things. And I'm going to...
Well, prior to seeing Brian, it was that late May, I started hearing something different around the house outside. And we'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah, this slideshow, these are some of the things that Brian showed us while we were there at that diner, because Brian is part of a research organization up here in upstate New York, and we have lots of 6 million acres of Adirondack mountains and forest, and they go all over the place in the Adirondacks and check out sightings. And these two castings right here, these were the first castings, like literal castings, I had ever had the chance to touch and lay my hands on these things. Mm-hmm. This was a moment for me. This was really big. And I know a footprint leaves an impression because they get a casting, but these footprints, these tracks, they left an impression on me. And he had, there's, I have pretty big hands.
They cover my whole.
They're
Do
not.
you want to use my face to show everybody how big your hands are?
Yeah. So, just the scope of how big these things were, it just had an impact on us, and I know it had an impact on my wife too, because she left this meeting with Brian and this adventure this day. She came back home, and she heard things a little different, and she saw things a little different, because just like when Brian told us his story, there in front of him standing was something that was not supposed to be. Every story that he had ever heard about things that aren't supposed to exist, at that point, he said he had to consider them from now on, because this thing wasn't supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And it was standing right in front of him. It changed him. It changed him.
Yeah.
So that's one of the castings. And then the next thing that he showed us, it kind of shocked us. It shocked us, actually.
Well, and then I knew why.
Now, this casting, you can't really get the scope of how big this thing is. It is big. Yeah, it is so big.
I took it really bad. We'll get
There's a lot of glare on it, but maybe someday I'll get to see this again. But the casting was taken in April of 2019. And
I started hearing them in May of 2019.
Yeah. And the size of this casting, let alone, is amazing. And the date on the casting, let alone, is amazing. But there's a little thing right below that date that says the West Mountain area. That's not far from home. That's not far from home at all. This casting was taken not far from home.
Hey, Peanut.
This experience and being with Brian and hearing his story, going out to Abear Road, seeing where it happened, watching his reaction and the passion, seeing these castings and holding them in my hand and seeing this location, it ignited something. I don't know. We're at where I always definitely believed that Bigfoot existed, because I tend to, maybe you guys have heard of the principle.
That would be Brian.
Yeah, that's Brian's hand pointed out. Where maybe you guys have heard of the principle of Occam's razor. Occam's razor is the principle where if two solutions are presented to the same question, most generally the simplest answer is the correct one, because people tend to overthink things. So with Occam's razor's principle in mind, for me, this is the way I look at it. Is it easier to believe that every Bigfoot story ever told by everyone, every sighting, every track, every casting, every recording, is it easier to believe that every one of those is a lie and a fake? Or is it easier to believe that at least one of them is real? To me, it's easier to believe that at least one of these is real. Which, if one of them is real, Bigfoot exists. It just takes one of them. That's Occam's razor. And I do believe that is the simplest answer, that not all of these people are lying about this. When we heard Brian's story, Brian wasn't lying. Brian wasn't lying at all. And
then the story about this foot casting.
Yeah, okay.
It goes even further.
Yeah,
than that.
let's dig into it. We got time.
Yeah.
This casting, Brian wouldn't disclose exactly where this casting was taken.
But then we found out.
Right. But in a roundabout, really weird way, we found out I had ordered a firearm from a company, and you can't legally have them shipped to your house. You have to have them shipped to a licensed dealer. So I went to go pick it up, and we went down there. It was nighttime. It was late after work, dark. And we get down there, and this Bob Bob and his tiny little gun shop. He I don't know why, but wherever I go, Bigfoot gets brought up in conversation. It's just me, I guess. Maybe I was wearing a shirt or a hat. I don't know. But he's like, we had a casting like 2 houses up from here, and he told us all about it.
He got the phone call at like midnight.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, this guy came down from Whitehall, and he casted it. It's like all of this information was just dumped into our laps.
I showed him the picture.
Yeah, so we showed him this picture, and he's like, that's it. That's the casting. That's the one I saw. So even though Brian didn't want to reveal exactly where it was meant to be, because and we know exactly where this was taken.
And the name can't be disclosed because he is
Right. And we know this is really close to home. Okay. Real quick, I want to show you guys something. If you guys ever want a really cool book to read, you can find this on Amazon. It's called Aber Road, The True Story. And this is Brian's book, Brian Goslin and Sue Goslin. That's Brian and his wife, Sue. They wrote this book. And when Brian had his encounter, you guys have probably seen a lot of the Bigfoot shows on television, and
Beast of Whitehall.
Well, there's big channels and there's big cable television shows who really like to play things up and add things in, and not talking about Animal Planet, but they like to add things and they like to embellish the story. And these people reached out to Brian, and he didn't want any part of that. And that's why his book is called The True Story.
Show him how thick it is.
It's not a huge book. Susie D's read it. TJ Squatchy's read it. It is the true story of what happened. It's not Hollywooded up. It's not made up. It's not embellished with stuff that didn't happen. This is from Brian. I think Sue actually wrote the book, but it's Brian's story that she was telling. It's a great book. So I thought if you guys hadn't read that, you can find that book. Nose picking, you're too fast. Nose picking, just put the link for that book if you guys want to check it out. It really is a good read. Okay, so where do we leave off?
We left. I don't know.
We just talked about Bob and finding out where. Let me put this back up.
So Bob is friends with a guy that lives very, very close to him, and he got a phone call that night, and Bob was really upset, that so-and-so did not call him sooner because they wanted to go track this.
Yeah. Yeah. So ever since then, we live really close to a mountain, and we hear things that just don't fit, and we see things that are just odd. And as much as we try to record them, I think we literally need to be on the mountain and in the woods to do this stuff. And we plan on doing some of that hopefully this spring, this summer. I want to get into some of that. But should we get into the?
I'm bursting.
Okay.
I'm gonna bust.
So
first, you might want to tell the story about How did you find out about this?
Okay,
This
so
puppy.
last Friday, I was at work and I got messaged by my sister. And like most normal people, I don't think they believed in Bigfoot. They kind of just went along with it because they know that it's a passion of mine. But my sister messaged me, and I want to share with you guys what she sent me, and but not quite yet. And I want to get you guys' thoughts on some of this. Some of it is a little bit of a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is not a mystery. I think some of this is, to me anyway, very crystal clear what this is. So let's see.
Well, you're going to tell him the story?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Story. So my sister messages me, and she's like, she was talking about my mom's neighbor. She's like, mom's neighbor called and said that they went out. She had to go out in the middle of the night because her dogs were going crazy, like
big time,
barking,
unusual,
barking,
crazy.
ridiculous. So my mom's neighbor goes out. There's the yard that's between the two houses, my mom's and my neighbor's. And so my neighbor, she goes out into her yard, and she said that she saw something very big, very dark, almost to a black color, kind of like a bear, but not really a bear.
Yeah.
Said it was really fat and really, really big. And that area of Ohio is not known much for bears.
No.
So she knew that there was something big, like really big, out in her yard. And she wasn't sticking around to find out. She ran back in the house. This thing terrified her. So she ran back in the house. And then the next day, that's when she called to my mom's house. And before she called, she had gone out into her yard and started looking around because she wanted to see if there was any signs of this thing being in the yard or anything out there. And she found some really weird tracks. And
we've looked up these.
We've tried to figure out what these things are.
No clue.
So I'm going to.
As those the ones you're showing first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get those up there. These are the tracks that my mom's neighbor saw, and I this is in the snow, obviously.
They look hoofy.
Do you guys have any clue what these tracks are? I don't know. It's not really an area that, and remember, she said this thing was really big, like bear size or bigger, and really dark colored.
But these wouldn't explain something like that.
Right.
Although these are weird.
Yeah, these are the weird tracks that I was talking about. We're going to get to something that's not so weird. But I wanted to present this. No, there's no moose in Ohio.
There's
no moose in that area.
And those aren't moose tracks either.
Puckwudgies.
So if you guys go and look at tracks in the snow of different animals, I challenge you to find something that looks like these, please, because I've done it for a week and
we can't find. Oh, Lord.
And I sent these to Sue.
Yeah.
Goslin. Yeah.
I'm going to switch pictures because Sissy Mesa is not a horse, and I'm going to show you the next picture of these just weird tracks. And if you look at these pictures, the two tracks kind of towards the bottom, they kind of almost look like they have hooves. I mean, am I making that up? I don't know.
I think.
But these tracks were pretty big size. Stephanie says robotic deer. Yeah.
No.
TH2, maybe Bigfoot was walking on his fingers.
He was tiptoeing.
Tracy says maybe a bear. And I won't say that they're not a bear, but
Well,
I do know.
I know bear tracks, so I know that they weren't.
Oh, I know Southeast Ohio really well. And yeah, maybe there's occasionally a bear that comes through there, but I lived there a long time and never saw one or never heard of one.
Are we almost there?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Okay.
Yeah, and Sam brings up a good point. He says whatever made them is not heavy at all. The snow would have sunk down deeper. This snow was had a crust of ice on it. So I don't know. I wish I could have been there and trust me, I would have measured these things. I would have casted these things. I would have done a lot.
Mm-hmm. Now, Brian has told us stories about big animals who have light footprints.
Yeah, I don't know. These are the prints that are they're just odd.
Mm-hmm.
They're just odd. And
I can't hardly wait. Just messing.
Yeah. Okay. Now, after these tracks, that's when my neighbor called my mom and my sister, and they talked. And my sister decided that, well, I'm going to go out and see if I can see anything in our yard. So my sister goes out, and these are the picture that I'm going to, the two pictures that I'm going to show you coming up. These are the pictures that they blew me away when she sent them. Now, my mom has dogs, and she lets them go out into the yard. So
He's over 200.
Right. She has a Mastiff. So a lot of the yard was already messed up from the dogs. But this one area, she got a picture of a track. And I'm not saying anything about it. I want to get you guys's.
Oh, and our brother-in-law is texting in now. That's his sister's
Okay,
husband.
yeah. So my brother-in-law said it did snow that night.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys, and I want you guys' thoughts on this, because I know exactly what I see when I see this picture, these two pictures. My wife sees the same thing. My whole family in Ohio, they see the same thing, and they don't really believe in Bigfoot like I do. So
no, they poke at you too.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Mom believes. I think your sister does believe.
Maybe. I know they believe a little bit more now.
Hey, Bushcrafty.
Let's see. So let me switch to the next picture.
Whew.
What do you guys see there?
I want to know what people see.
I want you guys' thoughts on that. I saw this picture, and I just about dropped my phone.
It's not a puppy.
It's not a puppy. Not a puppy. So you have this print, and you have, yeah, I see the same thing, Ark Wild Man. I see 6 toes. I see it 6 toes.
I started like crying almost when I saw that. 6
toes. Susie D, yep. Oh shit, the real thing.
Oh my God, Bigfoot.
Camperman, Bigfoot.
I can't wait to tell my joke.
I mean, a lot of you guys see the same thing. That's I see toes. I see a big track. And then you're going to say, well, maybe that's not so big. Maybe that's just a little print. So although I could almost kick her butt because she did this, because I would have protected this thing and guarded it with my life, but she put her foot beside it and she crunched the snow up in the process. But she did it. She did it so she could, have a reference of the size of this thing. Now, before I show you, my sister wears a size 9.
Yes.
My sister wears a size 9 shoe. Okay.
Hi, Mom. Hi, John. Hi, Ben.
Yeah. Hey, family, back there in Ohio.
And anyone else who's watching.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show you the next picture, which is this same print with my sister's foot right beside it. And you're going to see the scope of how big this thing is.
She stepped in it.
No. That's a size 9 woman's boot. How big is that print? I don't know. That's awful big. That's awful big. I wish that, I would have taken, a tape measure to it and measured this thing. And I don't know what I would have done. Honestly, I really don't. But that's a big print. Size 9 woman's boot that doesn't even cover half the thing. That's awful. That's awful big. Let's see. Cashew says an unconscionably large print. And the width, very wide in comparison. That's right.
This one toe out here, though, is what got me. That it's like a thumb looking thing.
Yeah. And okay, now keep in mind this track and take in the whole scope of what even triggered my sister to go out and look for these tracks, okay? The neighbor called about something big in the yard because her dogs were going nuts. She went out and got pictures of other weird tracks. Mm-hmm. Not saying they're Bigfoot. They're weird. They're not Perry County tracks. I'm just telling you, they're not.
They appear to be a hoof.
They're just weird. I don't know what they are. I don't know. So then it starts bringing questions in your mind. Is it a small Bigfoot? Is it something the Bigfoot was chasing?
No, ask the first question you asked your sister. Now, come on, let's just get real. What's the first thing you asked your sister?
I don't know.
You don't remember? Did you ask her if it was you messing with me?
Yeah, I asked her if she was messing with me. Is this real? Are you messing with me? But no.
She wouldn't do that.
No, they definitely
No.
wouldn't.
Okay, my foot is flat.
Let's see. TH2, was Shaq in town that night?
Jen is. We're just gonna. Your sister said that her foot was flat on the ground in the picture.
Yeah, so that's my sister's foot flat on the ground next to this thing, and I really do. I mean, I count 6 toes on this thing.
It looks like a thumb toe to me.
I don't know. I saw this picture and I didn't have even a second thought about what it was. Ark Wildman Nephilim. Who knows? Who knows? Exactly, Sandra. It's very, very interesting. And for somebody who loves talking about Bigfoot and researching Bigfoot, getting this picture from people that I know personally, because that's my sister and my mom. And my sister's really pretty, by the way.
She is beautiful.
Yeah, and so is my mom. I love them. And I miss them. We're coming back to Ohio Memorial Day, by the way. Maybe we could do some squatching.
We did ask if they wanted to talk tonight on the stream, but they're like,
yeah, my sister's pretty shy. She didn't want to come on the stream. She's told me to tell the story.
But there's still time. You can call in.
But yeah, you guys, I don't know. I don't know what to think of this. I've never had the chance to actually see a print like this. And the whole story, as far as the neighbor seeing something big in the yard.
And you can tell that this print, it snowed. Your sister, that's what they were trying to explain, is that this impression was left and then it snowed. Yeah,
so it's, I don't know, it's a mystery. and I think it's super, super cool. And we're already in the process of sending these pictures out. We've already sent them to, Brian and Sue Goslin from A Bear Road.
We just haven't.
We've sent these pictures out to them to see what their thoughts are on this. And I still have yet to talk with Brian on the phone because I really want to get his thought on this. I mean, I have a hard time looking past the toes on this thing. I have a hard time looking past that.
And then, so this is Perry County.
Yep.
Then, here we are a week later. This morning, I woke up to a story in
Muskingum
County, which is right next to.
Yeah, Perry County borders Muskingum County.
So, whatever this is, they have pretty much the same kind of print. In the county one over.
Yeah. TH2. Yep. It's probably in your back. Were you at my mom's house, TH2?
That's what it is.
It's possible.
So then, of course, I make the joke that they're looking for Bigfoot and they didn't realize that he wasn't living there anymore.
Yes. So there's the picture by itself. And then there's the one with the footprint or the boot beside it.
And she said her foot is flat on the ground.
Yes, she's. Yep. That's what I was asking Red Scout to see if it was a trail or the one print, but it's kind of hard to tell in that area because, like I said, my mom has a Mastiff, and she lets the dog out in the yard. The snow was kind of tracked up by the dog. This one was kind of over by. They have a little shed in the backyard, and it was between the shed and the house. So I'll tell you what. I will tell you this much. I know my mom very well. She is not afraid of anything, and my wife talked to her today on Messenger, and I talked to my sister about this. My mom works afternoon shift, and she gets home and it's dark, and
mom's tough.
Yeah, she pulls in the driveway now, and she sits there with her bright lights on for a little while before she walks to the house. It creeped her out.
That's not like her.
No, she doesn't spook. She doesn't spook easy.
No, she more just giggles it off, but now.
Yeah, I mean, she raised me. She raised my heathen brothers and my nice sisters, I guess. She's probably listening. Yeah, it's I'm glad that she did put her foot there. It doesn't look big until she puts her foot next to it, though. It's right.
Yeah.
Sam, I was dying to see a second one, right?
I'm gonna go get my shoe. I have size 7.5, 8, and you have size 15.
Yeah, that is way bigger than a size 15 man. That's way bigger. I mean, and even the width, it's almost like at least double, if not triple the size of the width of my sister's boot. It's something else. And I'm not trying to tell anybody 100% that this is a Bigfoot track. I'm just telling you the story that happened. And it's just like many other Bigfoot stories that you hear. You hear the backstory and you hear things and you just put it together the best you can. This is the information that we have, and I know the people. I love these people, and they wouldn't make this up. So either this is just a really weird coincidence, or it is what it is. I don't know what my wife's doing here, but she wants to.
Well, I mean, it's another size reference I just thought of just now. So this New Balance is a 7.5, and this Red Wing is a size 15. So there's the difference of a 7.5 to a 15.
Right, and so look at even the width. I'm not even double that. So picture that. I mean, you're talking that 15. I mean, it would be twice as wide. I mean, you're talking about a huge, huge print.
Right.
Firefly brought up a good point. If you're still watching this, oh sis, have your hubby or you take a tape measure to your to the length of your boot. That's a good idea. Measure your boot, how long it is, and then maybe we can kind of get an idea of, because if we know her boot's like whatever 9 inches, or then we can kind of get an idea of how big this thing is.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Okay, so they just messaged, and they took a tape measure to my sister's boot. It is 11 and a half inches. So how big does that track? How big is that track? I don't even know if I even want to take a guess at that. That's 23, 24.
Well, double would be, yeah. 20,
I don't know. That's huge.
20,
that's huge.
23 maybe.
11 and a half inches is the size of my sister's boot from heel to toe measured.
And it's less than half of this, so it's got to be 2 feet.
Yeah, Cashew's saying it's at least 22.
Right.
That's the scope of how big this is. 25 inches, says Grace.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more than, I think it's 24.
Firefly says 24 inches.
Yeah.
Longboarding Mom, 22. A good point, Sam. If it looks like a duck and walks like a duck,
it's a duck.
That's right. Stephanie says 24 and a quarter.
Oh, they sent a photo. Can I click it?
Yeah. Okay, they're communicating with us as we're talking here.
Oh.
All right, so we have. Okay, so it's legit. I have the picture right here. If that is a track, that is big. That is big. And Mom, I think you need a bigger dog.
I don't know. Her dog is I mean, she is huge.
Yeah. Well, she needs a tougher dog. She has a Mastiff that's a
well,
big
you were kind of intimidated.
It's because the dog's bigger than me.
Because she protects your mommy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's a good idea, Susie D. Trail cam time.
I think we may have to.
Saunders says 23 and 7/8.
Send out some trail cams.
ER says 28.
Oh, wow.
TJ says 22.
Now, do you remember
Equine, 22 and 12 wide. That's big.
Do you remember what the one over on that Brian took that we saw? Do you remember
the one in the case?
That was the biggest to date.
That was like 22, 23. Okay. That was big.
He said it was the biggest to date around here.
Yeah, it was a big casting that we had in that. The one I showed you in the.
This one's bigger.
I think this is bigger. I really do. I think this is bigger. I'm seeing them both. I don't know. Tracy says 25. I don't know. And I hope you guys don't think that we made a big to-do about this and presented something that wasn't really something to be excited about, because when I got these pictures, I stopped what I was doing because I think I know what I was looking at.
I'm just kind of still, and I feel like a deer in headlights. Like, still, a week later, we've known this for a week, and I still feel like a deer in headlights. It's like your belly gets to turning, and it's a very exciting, but yet unsettling. Like, this was not far from Mom's door.
Yeah,
like,
right,
you know?
Right.
And
okay, now with all of this knowledge and the whole story that you guys have heard, okay, I want to back up a little bit. What are these?
Yeah, that's got me.
What are these tracks? That's not a typical track for that area. And like everybody pointed out, these tracks are so tight together. I don't know. I have no clue. The neighbor just said that whatever made these tracks was really big. I don't know.
Well, and we don't have any size reference for those tracks either.
Right. We have no idea how big these is.
And then I have questions like, do these things shapeshift? Do they, we don't know.
That's part of the mystery of Bigfoot. There's so many theories about what Bigfoot does, or, as far as shape shifting or anything like that. There's talk of Bigfoot being interdimensional. I don't know. There's so many.
Yeah, mom's dog's double that. Grace.
Yeah, my mom's
almost double that.
Yeah, my mom's bull mastiff Grace is about 225 pounds.
Well, if your sister's still listening, and your sister and brother-in-law, if they know how much she weighs exactly, but those aren't the tracks, though. Those aren't mom's dog's tracks.
Right? No, definitely not.
No.
So anyway, we thought this was worthy of putting a stream together and letting you guys all see this. And I didn't think that we were all every one of us who have seen this.
Oh, she's not 200. She was 189 last vet visit.
Okay. She's a big dog. Yeah. But everyone that I show this track to, they see 6 toes, and they see a footprint, and they see a big footprint. So it's up to you guys. It's just one more, I guess it's one more story to add to the stories of the legend of Bigfoot. Whether or not, and Mom, you might want to close your ears, whether or not there was a Bigfoot standing by the shed looking at my mom's house, possibly scoping out her dog for a meal, or I don't know. It's conjecture, and we don't know.
Now, the newest sighting, one county over, they were estimating this to be, in a different county, 8 to 9 feet.
Could those last sets of tracks be another kind of crypt? Yeah, Tennessee Ridge Runner. Who knows?
I was honestly thinking something like that, like a hoof something.
Sam says you should know what you're looking at. After all, you are Bigfoot. So the moral of this story.
I still think that they went there looking for you.
It's possible.
Yeah.
The moral of this story is, I don't care if you're walking to your mailbox. Always, you need an everyday carry bag for Bigfoot. You need a tape measure. You need plaster and some water to mix it.
Camera.
You need a camera.
Something that takes video and pictures.
Yes. Maybe, yes.
Yeah.
We haven't really considered this enough. We need to be carrying this stuff everywhere.
Right. Some kind of vial and tweezers to collect any kind of hairs.
Hair samples, behind. Yes.
Right.
Yep. I agree.
So if you see one of these, also don't step that close to it. We love you.
But we wouldn't know how big it was if she didn't do something.
We wouldn't. And how are you going to cast snow? You can't cast snow, can you?
I don't think so.
Still a sample back.
Now, Sissy May brings up the point that I was kind of leaning toward. Maybe the Bigfoot was hunting whatever made the other footprints. That's kind of what I was.
Okay, that's what I thought at first until I got looking at those footprints, and I can't figure out what those footprints are. The CSI kit.
Bigfoot, there are a lot of mines in that area. There are. Yeah, big time. Ziploc baggie for the hair. Yeah.
We're going to have to make a EDC BF bag. Ugly's footprint is by it. Hold on.
All right.
By which one?
Yeah, Cashew says, what's this stand for? Everyday carry for Bigfoot?
So they said that Oakley's footprint is by it.
Cashew says no casting snow. Snow way to do it.
I can't see where her footprint is, though.
So yeah, we thought we would take some time and show this to you guys. You can do with it what you want, but we have our thoughts as to what it could be. And like I said, we're going to follow up with this, and we're going to take it and yeah, I know it's funny, but we do have Bigfoot people, and we're going to take it to our knowledgeable people.
You should probably just call him tonight.
It's
not late.
And see what they think about this, because I really would like to know too. Everyday carry for Bigfoot. That's right.
Mm-hmm. ECFB.
I appreciate that, Sam.
Oh, Bushcrafty. He's in the same state. He's got to be on the lookout. Seriously.
Bushcraft knows all about Salt Fork. He's not too far from it. So.
Mm-hmm. You have your people get a hold of our people.
Yeah. So yeah, we thought maybe you guys would enjoy seeing that, and you can do with it what you want, but it definitely got me really pumped up. And my sister told me that when she went out and saw this thing, her exact words were, "Whoa." I'm coming Bigfoot hunting with you. Don't leave without me. Come on up. Tennessee Ridge Runner. If hunting Bigfoot, bring cake. That's right.
Gotcha.
Lively Prepper's coming. Yep. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Sure. Sure. All right. So want to wrap up with that?
That's up to you. You're running this. I'm just your sidekick.
Well, I didn't really have a lot of other stuff to present, but mostly just what we have up there on the screen was this super cool picture that my sister sent me.
Which is more exciting than a puppy.
It's way more exciting than a puppy.
Yeah, because puppies pee everywhere. Just
saying. So do Sasquatch.
I know. They're on marked trails.
Yeah.
Stay on marked trail.
Yeah.
That's why you don't go off the trail, because Bigfoot's marked it.
Yeah, right.
Isn't that I think Trust in God made that joke the other day.
So Bushcrafty says, I've got pictures of red eyes coming from a cave in the Salt Fork Woods.
See, I'm telling you, it's where it's at.
Grace enjoyed the show. Lively Prepper, can you pray for us, brother, since we are here? Okay, we can do that. And I want to mention something. Let me do something real quick. Okay, we had a couple things brought to our attention. Most of you guys know William H. A mutual friend of ours, and William H. told us about. He went through a pretty substantial medical crisis. And right now he's fighting a pretty substantial sickness. He's pretty sick. So if you guys could remember our brother William H. in your prayers. And
Lily said that his spirits are up, though, since the last stream.
Yeah.
He feels that power of prayer. He knows the power of prayer.
William H. has done a lot for us. He's reached out to me a lot. And he's a good brother. And also Karen V. If you guys don't know what Karen V is going through, her house has a really bad case of black mold, and
I'll grab that link if Nose Pickens.
She's potentially could be losing her house. So,
well, I mean, it's a health hazard.
Yeah. So Karen V. She not only has the house for her, but she's
got a video up of it showing it.
Yeah, she's raising her grandkid, little Eric, and we love them to death. They're awesome people. So Karen has Nose Pick and just dropped a link if you guys want to see what's going on with Karen And if anybody wants to make a donation, that's her PayPal link. So it's not going through any middlemen. It'll go straight to her. And that's up to you guys.
And
Whatever.
don't give to anywhere else. Don't give it to us.
Yeah.
Don't give it to anywhere else asking for Karen V. She has her own PayPal, her own channel that you can get in contact with.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yep. I
So
just want to let people know because that people do that.
Okay. And I know this is a Bigfoot stream, but I like to pray. So, and someone just ask for it. So let's do this. So let's take a minute and we'll go to God. So Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time together. Lord, many times when we get together and we talk about things of this world that we really don't even know what we're seeing, but that's okay. Lord, you have seen the prayer requests that have been lifted up tonight with our friends, William H. and Karen V. Lord, you know both their situations. We pray for healing, and we pray for that black mold to be taken care of. If we ask that you place it through the Holy Spirit on somebody's heart or anybody's heart to help her out in any way they can. And we leave that to you, Lord. And ask that you just be with everybody here tonight. And thanks for just being you, God. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
You can pray in a phone booth. You can pray on a bus.
I pray in the bathroom, and I pray when I'm driving in the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You just stop doing what you're doing, take off your hat, and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. And dear sister, if you're still watching, thank you for sharing that because that was just awesome. And
maybe sometimes she can come on. She doesn't have to show her face.
Right.
She could do this.
Yeah.
Or she could be on the line. You know those game shows where they call
phone a friend.
Phone a friend.
Lifeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
She could do that too and just be on speaker.
All right, guys. Well, hopefully that was enjoyable to watch, and maybe it got you thinking a little bit because it's definitely got my mind going and got me pumped up.
And I've got I get the heebie-jeebies out here, and tonight it's foggy and pouring rain.
Yeah, I will be sleeping in my chair, and I will wake up at like 1 o'clock in the morning to the sound of the front door being ripped open. Babe, you got to come and hear this. And I'll go out and
I'll remember the time I was on the phone with TJ.
Yeah.
Or another person I won't mention, and she heard it too. That was
there's
like
sounds
that
come from the mountain, which is where that big casting was.
Yeah, but then
we don't know what they are.
But then they're just like, I don't know how many feet is that from there to that woods right there.
A couple hundred.
You think it's a couple 100 feet?
Yeah.
And I heard like 4 or 5 like different. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Makes my stomach turn.
Don't know. It's just fun talking about it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and we're going to wrap up with that because I've been on the internet way too long today.
I love you too, Sissy May.
So you guys have a good night, and
didn't have fun.
What?
You didn't have fun?
Yes, it was fun. The whole process has been fun. I've held this inside since Friday because Tuesday is cryptid night, and we made it.
You didn't even set a special night. You had to wait.
Right. Tuesday.
I'm proud of you keeping that in for so long.
Yeah.
Because I know it was busting.
It was busting the gut.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Oh, and go over. Okay, y'all know Bushcraft Family.
Yeah. Can somebody drop Bushcrafty's link?
I know Nose Picking did earlier.
Yeah.
And I think Cashew.
Because a certain organization tends to be beating him up right now.
Yeah. So he's over being Bushcrafty now too.
We're going to get crafty.
Yeah.
So if somebody can drop Bushcrafty's link.
And thank you to all of our awesome family and friends. And thank you to our mods. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Much love and respect because we know how it feels to have a wrench sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
appreciate you guys. You guys have a great night, and we're going to wrap up with that. We'll see you guys later.
God bless.